They stay in the cup.
They lost.
They lost. Yeah. You can do that nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah. You couldn't back in the day.
No.
But now you can.
And like baseball, it's very hard for baseball.
Oh, baseball and football, I think, is a little.
Football's different, but with the way that football is set up with the salary cap, salary cap that they have in NFL it makes it very competitive. Plus, the rookies. That's why the draft is so big. That's why it's televised over the course of 3 days and people watch it. But no, for different reasons, the MLS is set up for a win now kind of league. And if you don't win now, it doesn't matter if you're in year 2 or year 20. You got issues.
Right. Well, we'll get more into this in 2 weeks on our next podcast. I want to talk a little bit about. There was an article a couple weeks ago about LigaMX and MLS joining forces.
Yeah, and the article, everything I've read about this has been really cryptic.
Well, it is cryptic, and there's no, they would be combined and be a North American Super League or whatever you want to call it. Would it be that simple? I don't know. They haven't really laid out what their plan would be.
My question is, because it's been so, and I've read the same things, it's been cryptic. You don't find any details on it whatsoever.
Right.
My question is, the reason why it's cryptic is because behind the scenes, they're making some sort of deals that it's gonna blow it up. I mean, and we talked about this before. If those two leagues combined and made like a North American Super League, okay, unbelievable. Like the amount of fans and the amount of differences.
Oh yeah.
We'd have relegation.
You'd have to.
We'd have to have a salary cap. I mean, it would be crazy.
And I think both leagues would benefit immensely.
Yeah.
I mean, LigaMX already has a pretty good foothold in the U.S. because of the Mexican immigrant population. But I think they'd want more.
Yeah.
And Major League Soccer is actually gaining some momentum in, south of the border. I don't know how much from Mexico to Latin America, but I think that would be massive for MLS. The competition would be significant because the top few leagues or top few teams in Liga MX are fantastic, and it's such a natural area of competition.
Yes.
I mean, the Champions League tends to end up being MLS, Liga MX.
Yep.
And MLS keeps being told, well, we're not good enough because we can't beat Liga MX.
Yep.
And, there are variables to consider for why that's the case. But even then, I don't think it's a good judge. If you go to Europe, just because Real Madrid or Barcelona beat up on the England teams every year in the Champions League, it doesn't mean that La Liga is better than EPL, because it's not.
No, it's not.
But it's still one of those things that with the competition that we have between the U.S. and Mexico, especially at a national league scale, or national team scale, I think it would be incredible to harness all of that and help these teams kind of go at each other more often. I just think it would make it better.
Yeah, I got a couple things, and actually, I was when I got my last beer, I was talking with the bartender, and we were talking about soccer a little bit, and one of the things he talked about with regards to MLS and American soccer is that, he brought up the relegation word, and I know we've thought about it and talked about it. A lot of people would like it. I'm not going to deny that. It's not a possibility now or in the near future, but if there was some kind of combination in a North American league with Liga MX and the MLS, that might become a possibility.
No, there would have to be. I mean, if you combine Liga MX and MLS, you have to have relegation. You have to. Because how many sorry, we have dogs in the brewery now. How many teams are in Liga MX?
I think the first division, I don't even know. I think it's 18.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
And in MLS, we've got 20...
right now, it's 23.
23, yeah.
It will be 24 next year.
So you can't have that many teams in one league.
No.
You have to do relegation.
And the reality is, think about the travel.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being Montreal having to travel to Mexico City? I mean, it would be insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would have to have relegation.
You have to have relegation, and I think it's a big thing for us to do, because I seriously believe when this whole thing came up, MLS wants to compete with the European leagues, right? They want to compete as Bundesliga champions, Serie A, all those leagues. They want to compete with all of them.
Yeah.
They can't right now because there's no relegation. And MLS as a whole will never be allowed to have relegation. There's no way they could.
Right. I mean, with the closed system, it'd be very difficult.
But combining with Liga MX, there you go. You fix that problem right there.
And a couple things, and it wasn't this article. I think the article we're referring to came out like maybe a month ago, I want to say. But then recently I saw something that my guy Landon Donovan made a few comments about, and he's of course a player that spent years in the MLS and in the Premier League in England. But he also spent time his last year actually with club Lyon with Liga MX, and he made a couple comments, and he just said, I'll paraphrase here, but he basically said it was logical and it seemed like it'd be a good decision for him, and he sees it as, if this part of the world, the United States, North America, if they want to compete with Europe and South America as far as talent and building a better league, combining the two would do that. It would help do that.
Great idea. It's a great idea.
And then the other thing that, it was just a little blurb that I saw on ESPN Plus, I think it was, but just the other thing I noticed, and it was interesting, and one of the I'm not sure if he's a coach or in the front office of a Mexican top flight division, but somebody made the comment down there that a North American league could be a possibility and would serve as a legacy to the 2026 World Cup that will be co-hosted by U.S., Mexico, and Canada.
Right.
So if you could get that started prior to that World Cup,
Dave, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a huge deal too. If these leagues got together before the World Cup, that gets joined together, that's a big thing. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
The reason why, and we all know this, the reason why we have the MLS now is because we were told we had to have MLS to have a World Cup here. Okay. We're doing a World Cup in, 2026?
2026, yep.
We combine leagues by then? That shows we're on the world map. Right now, we're second tier in the world map. Let's be honest here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest.
I mean, if not third.
We're not a retirement league anymore, but...
But it's second tier.
Sure.
Where guys go here to end their careers.
We're not quite that anymore. I mean, they do, but we're not just that.
Zoltan and where was freaking...
now you're saying it completely.
I don't care anymore. But Pirlo came over here from Italy when he was in the last legs. What was the other... Who played with New York with Pirlo? Was
Thierry.
Lampard.
Thierry.
They were Ashley Cole in L.A.
They were done. They were...
Steven Gerrard.
Yep. And now we have... DC United has...
Wayne Rooney.
David Beckham at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Beckham went back to...
He did.
Europe.
He did.
True. Yeah, true.
What I'm saying is, like, we are the retirement league of European league. So to combine leagues, I mean, let me ask both you guys individually. Steven's your first. Mm-hmm. If Liga MX and MLS combine, would you be more excited about soccer in the United States?
Quick answer is yes. Very much more excited.
Right.
My only concern when they start going down this road is it just seems like logistically it would be a nightmare. And David already brought up the travel. That's just one thing. But scheduling and how the season would work out. I think I have a lot of questions, a ton of questions. How could this possibly work? But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, yes, I would be more excited if somehow they figured out something that would work. Yeah, it'd be great.
Okay. Sterling, excited or not?
I don't know that I'd be more excited. I mean, I've become more excited about Major League Soccer just with the Loons coming in.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be it would definitely be more interesting.
Yeah, let's play the game, of course. Let's play the game. They combine. We have relegation. Okay, so not only are we talking about playoffs for the Loons, we're talking about relegation, up and down. That makes it a bit more exciting for the teams in the lower division of the MLS.
Yeah, I mean, I would be for it.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that my excitement level changes too much, but I would certainly be for it.
So I think, just to get back in this whole conversation, I think LigaMX and MLS joining forces and doing the whole relegation and whatever, combining leagues, that's kind of the big dream for a lot of us.
I think it could be, yeah.
The shorter term, well, how would I put it? Not as exciting, and we talked about this before, is they're joining forces to have some sort of cup type of thing.
Well, yeah, and it's good that you bring up short term, but just to add to what you were saying, so earlier this year, and I didn't realize this until I started getting into this topic and doing a little bit of research, but earlier this year, actually, the MLS and LigaMX, they did launch a partnership, and I didn't realize this. So what it is basically is they call it the Campeones Cup.
Okay.
And that's where it would be a match between the winners of each league.
Okay.
Right.
So they did get that in place, and I didn't realize that.
But if that's the only thing that happens, that's low tier.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just like
whatever.
That's you know what that is? That's who gives a shit.
Right.
Great, you're gonna have a cup between top team and top.
Well,
team.
my first thought, well, isn't that already kind of like the Champions League?
Pretty much, yeah.
I didn't.
Well, yeah, you're right, because it's generally MLS and LigaMX anyway.
This is,
Yeah,
I guess,
exactly
this
right.
is one match between the winners. It's not a league. It's not a playoff. It's not a system like that. It's just one match.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like,
but it's a sign. I guess if you're an optimist, if this is what you want, if you want this, partnership, it's a stepping stone, I guess.
Yeah, but I think Liga MX and MLS already have kind of they're getting there.
yeah,
But to join forces would be a huge,
I think it would be too.
momentous step in another direction
Right.
that I don't think we can three of us here can't comprehend yet, because it would be it'd be mind-blowing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it works.
It would change both leagues in extreme, and potentially in a very good way.
Yeah.
But are these two leagues bold enough to go for it? Do they have the balls to do it? At the end of the day, it's a business decision.
Right. I mean, you have a lot of things that you have to consider. I mean, you have a closed system in Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
So the owners have to be willing to open. Or the owners in Liga MX have to be willing to close.
Yeah, that's right.
What does that mean? I mean, you're obviously going to have enough teams for two leagues. Mm-hmm. So you're still going to have promotion relegation for Liga MX. Mm-hmm. You're going to have owners in the U.S. that are going to have to buy into promotion relegation.
That's correct.
That's a tough sale.
What is that going to mean? With so many Americans not, like casual fans, not familiar with the idea, all of a sudden their team drops to second division. What does that mean?
But okay, let's go back to that though. You have fans in America who aren't used to that,
right?
But they should be.
Yeah, and I think it's a tougher sell, not to the fans, and yes, there will be fans that would be against it, but I think you talk to a lot of people and they might be for it, especially soccer fans, maybe not so much the casual fans like you said, Dave, but I think it's a tougher sell to the ownership of an American sports team that all of a sudden you're telling them there's a possibility you could get relegated out of the top level MLS, and here's what that means. That means, you know what it means? It means a significant loss of revenue.
But
because you aren't getting the top TV, packages and all those.
But the same token, Dave. I mean, yes, it's a loss of revenue. Yeah. But that says to those owners, I got to do more next year to get my team even better. You know what I mean? It gets your spending up. Teams in England do this all the time.
Yeah.
They want to get out of relegation. They spend more. They do more.
Well,
You
it
know?
makes it tougher. See,